They say you're safe when you sleep. But in the edge of sleep, based on Markiplier's hit series, falling asleep is the worst thing you can do. And it's already too late for most. Imagine it's the end of a long day and your body's begging for rest. But suddenly you get a warning. Sleep will be the last thing you ever do. That's the terrifying world of The Edge of Sleep, a chilling series brought to life by Markiplier, where staying awake isn't just survival, it's the only way to hold on to life itself. This is episode 1, where we meet the characters, learn the first dark secrets, and feel the weight of something sinister lurking just behind the veil of sleep. Dave Torres is an ordinary night shift security guard, working a quiet job in a small town. He's got a routine, a rhythm, something steady and reliable, but one night everything changed. Dave starts noticing little things that feel off. People are on edge, and more tired than usual. His own exhaustion feels deeper, heavier, like it's pulling him towards something he can't resist. Then around midnight, Dave gets an alert on his radio. It's not an emergency, or at least not the kind he's trained for. It's a voice, frantic, warning him and anyone who's listening. Whatever you do, don't fall asleep. Dave is shaken, but before he can process it, his phone pings. It's a message from an unknown number that says the same thing. If you sleep, you'll die. At first he thinks it's a prank, maybe some kind of weird warning system gone rogue. But there's an urgency in the voice, a crackling, haunted edge that plants a seed of doubt. And that seed starts to grow. Dave starts investigating, asking around to see if anyone else has heard the same thing. His first call is to his friend and co-worker Matteo, who's working the same shift in another building. Matteo laughs it off at first, but as they talk, they both realize something strange. Neither of them has seen or heard from their boss or really anyone else for hours. The usually lively night shift feels hollow, like everyone else just disappeared. Curiosity and dread pull Dave out of his comfort zone. He drives across town to find answers, picking up a few friends along the way. They call around and try to find their families, but no one's answering. The streets are empty, as if everyone vanished. Even stranger, those who are around have this glazed over look, as if they're caught between being awake and asleep. Dave's small group grows, each person sharing the same eerie warning: if you sleep, you won't wake up. And then they meet Dr. Linda, a sleep specialist who has spent her career studying what happens to the brain in the moments before sleep. Linda's been on the phone with hospitals, and what she shares is horrifying. The emergency rooms are filling up with people who aren't quite dead, but they aren't awake either. They're caught in a state she's never seen before, something between life and death. Linda explains that the symptoms started suddenly, and the doctors have no idea what's causing it. But they all agree on one thing. Every single person affected was asleep when it happened. Something is happening to anyone who sleeps. They're trapped in a permanent slumber, as if their bodies have forgotten how to wake up. The fear in Linda's voice is real, and it spreads through the group like wildfire. Meanwhile, Dave is struggling to process this. How can something as natural as sleep be deadly? The more he thinks about it, the more surreal it feels. He remembers stories his grandmother used to tell him about people who'd fall asleep and never wake up, and the idea takes root in his mind, twisting into something horrifyingly real. As the group sits in silence, trying to understand what's happening, someone makes a grim observation. If we fall asleep, it's over for us too. The words hit hard because they all know it's only a matter of time. Their bodies are exhausted, and each passing minute brings them closer to the edge. The turning point comes when one of their group members, Sarah, nods off for just a second. The group is immediately on her, shaking her awake, but her reaction is chilling. She doesn't remember falling asleep, doesn't remember a thing, but she talks about a strange vision she had, something that felt more real than any dream she'd ever had. She describes a dark, endless road, stretching into nothing, with shadows swirling around her, whispering secrets she couldn't understand. Sarah's experience rattles everyone. If that's what's waiting for them when they fall asleep, it's a nightmare none of them want to face. The idea of holding on to consciousness becomes a desperate, almost frantic mission. They know they can't hold out forever, but they cling to the hope that maybe, just maybe, they'll find a way to survive. At this point, Dave takes charge, organizing shifts and keeping everyone moving to stave off sleep. He shares stories, anything to keep their minds alert, hoping that maybe talking will help them hold on a little longer. The small group, strangers just hours before, find themselves bonded by a shared terror that sleep is no longer safe, no longer an escape, but a trap that will pull them into the same dark oblivion Sarah described. Each person has their strategy, pacing, telling jokes, counting down the minutes. They cling to whatever they can to stay awake, but as the hours drag on, their exhaustion starts to weigh heavier like a fog they can't escape, and all the while they feel the pull of something dark and unnatural lurking just beyond their senses, waiting for the moment they close their eyes. By the end of the night, the group is barely holding on. They're exhausted and frayed, with bloodshot eyes and trembling hands, but they're alive, and for now, that's enough. They've survived one night, but the thought of another fills them with dread. The weight of what they've learned hangs over them. That the simple act of sleeping has become a doorway to something dark, something beyond life. Dave realizes they have a choice to make. Find a way to fight back or keep running from the inevitable. And as they watch the sunrise, each of them silently wonders how long they can last. The journey has only just begun, and they know the worst is yet to come. Let me know what you think about this format in the comments, and subscribe for more terrifying episodes from the edge of sleep, where every episode takes you deeper into the nightmare.